Hello, I'm Dylan McKennell, and this is Zach Betty for our Turnbuckle Reflections.
This episode of Turnbuckle Reflections showcases the WCW wrestlewar 1990 pay-per-view.
This pay-per-view featured 7 matches from all the WCW top stars. This show, I would say, is a low-rated show, in my opinion.
I have to agree. The original plans for the main event was to have Sting challenge Ric Flair for the WCW World Title, but unfortunately, 3 weeks prior to that, at the Clash of Champions, Sting blew out his knee during the main event cage match, which he was interfering. So, as his replacement, it was the United States Heavyweight Champion Lex Luger.
Lexi. And let's just say, we'll get to that.
Commentary for this pay-per-view event was done by Jim Ross and Terry Funk.
Terry Funk, of all people. And let's just say, when you watch this, I encourage you to watch this, just as if you want to watch it. But Terry Funk is a very colorful and odd commentator.
So, it begins with Teddy Long backstage interview where one member of his team is injured.
Dan Spivey, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Now Dan Spivey was about a 7-foot tall wrestler that tag teamed with the Undertaker, who was known as Mean Mark at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just so
Mean Mark Callis.
Mean Mark Callis, that's right. Go ahead.
So he announced a replacement. So the actual first match of the pay-per-view was Calvin Sullivan and Buzz Sawyer versus the dynamic dudes.
Yes, and that's about how Terry Funk announced them, honestly, because it's a hard combination to say.
So Sawyer and Johnny Ace, or John Laurinaitis, as you may know him better as, begin with a tie-up. Ace drop kicks Sawyer outside of the ring. They really actually play up Buzz Sawyer's anger issues or mental health issues.
They did that quite well, actually. They even kind of hinted towards them trying to fight each other during the match a little bit.
Yeah, Sawyer and Sullivan actually slap each other to psych each other up.
Yeah.
Early on in the match. Sullivan and Sawyer single out Shane Douglas, who is Johnny Ace's partner, attacking his back with suplexes on the outside of the ring and bear hugs, really focusing on the lower back. And Shane Douglas was selling it like crazy. Sullivan and Sawyer win when Sawyer hits Johnny Ace with a diving double axe handle.
Yeah, I thought this was great, and also to note, Shane Douglas was only 20 years old in this match. He was a kid, pretty much. So just goes to show you, WCW had some up and coming stars at this point.
Yeah, and they really dropped the ball with a few of them. Shane Douglas and Mark Callis. They let Mark Calloway go because they thought that he wasn't a big draw.
And we know that his 6'10" ass is a big draw because he is, besides Shawn Michaels and people like that, he's probably right up there in top 5. Honestly.
Top 5. He went from there. He went to the WWF. And he debuted in the 1990 Survivor Series as The Undertaker.
That's right, and as some of you don't know, and we'll do this in long form someday on that, his real first wrestling name was actually Kane the Undertaker. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I know, it's kind of interesting to think about that. So the next match was Cactus Jack versus Norman. And I gotta say, Cactus Jack was looking pretty lean.
Yeah, he actually was very fit in his early career. He was in great shape. This was a battle of two quote-unquote crazy wrestlers. Norman was in control in the beginning.
Right.
They brawled outside the ring when Norman threw Cactus Jack into the crowd on the cement floor, tried to get a count-out victory. Cactus Jack would drop kick Norman from the apron onto the floor.
This match is exactly what you would expect from two bigger guys. It's a brawl. Let's be honest. It's a brawl between two big guys. I mean, there's a few high spots, but overall, Norman got the win, and I thought at the time Cactus Jack was a bigger name, so I don't know what WCW was really trying to do there.
Yeah, he won when Cactus Jack was trying to go for like a pile driver.
Right.
Norman reversed into a back body drop and then sits on his and Norman sat on his face for the pin.
I give that star I'll go a star and a half.
I give that 1 star.
Yeah.
I gave the Sullivan and Sawyer versus Dynamic Dudes 2 stars.
Yeah, me too. I also give that 2 stars because there was a lot of good high spots in that match. So okay, go ahead with the next match.
Okay, so the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express. This was supposed to be the final encounter, the final chapter of this long-standing rivalry.
And there was quite a rivalry. I mean, it was the team of the 80s versus the team of the 70s, you know? It'd be like DX fighting, you know, the Bullet Club today, if you think about it, you know, along those lines.
Alright, so this I gave 3 stars. There was some funny spots where the ref shoved Stan Lane after Stan Lane shoved the referee, and then Jim Cornette tried to fight the ref. Then after 3 punches,
he gets like
he gets all loopy on the ropes and then falls backwards.
And it really shows you how great Jim Cornette was.
Yeah,
he was so great.
Let's see. There's another great spot was while in a Greco-Roman lock, Robert Gibson steps and climbs all over Bobby Eaton onto his shoulders, jumps off Eaton and delivers a double axe handle to Stan Lane. That
was an awesome spot. You know that old saying, I'm going to climb up one side of you and down the other? That literally happened in this match. And it just shows like that was solid wrestling from them. I also give that 3.5 stars. It was just a great match.
I gave it 3 stars. Rock and Roll Express win with a roll-up.
That was a solid match.
Yeah.
I'll you start the next match.
Chicago Street Fight. The Road Warriors face the Skyscrapers.
And the mystery opponent is a masked Mike Awesome. Yep. All the people they could have got back then, they got a 22-year-old Mike Awesome. What did you think about that?
I didn't realize it was Mike Awesome until you told me during the match. Teddy Long starts the match trying to hit Paul Ellering, and Paul Ellering ducks, and then the 2 teams brawl.
Yeah.
It was a 6-minute match. It was almost like a squash match.
Oh, it was. It was lots of power moves and stuff.
Yeah, they were trying to outpower each other, and the Road Warriors got the better of it. And Road Warriors win in 6 minutes.
I liked at the end of this, there was kind of a brawl between the Road Warriors and Ron Simmons and Butch Reed because Teddy Long got in the ring, and I think that was setting up a feud. We'll have to find out later when we do other reviews, but yeah, that's a good feud, I think. Yeah, so Teddy Long yells at the Road Warriors after the match. Road Warriors pick Teddy Long up, chuck him outside the ring, and Doom catches him, and then they start getting into Road Warriors' faces, and then they brawl until Doom retreats. I gave the match 2.5 stars. Me also.
Because it was so short.
Could have been more drawn out.
For a street fight.
Yeah, it was really short. They didn't even go backstage or anything.
Yeah. Alright, so the next match was the United States Tag Team Championship.
Now, this match...
So long.
This match was almost an hour long. It was like 47 minutes long.
Dragged out.
We will continue talking about this match in episode 2. Please find part 2 of Wrestle War 1990.